Join me on my journey, using faith to conquer anxiety and find true peace. Hey there, friends. Today, I'm inviting you to come along with me on a deeply personal journey, one where I've wrestled with anxiety and discovered how faith can be a game changer in finding true, lasting peace. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by worry or fear, I hope my story resonates with you and offers a spark of hope. I've always been someone who believed in a higher power. Growing up, faith was a cornerstone of my life, a quiet comfort that gave me a sense of purpose. But when anxiety started creeping in, it was like a storm cloud rolling over my heart. Suddenly, my faith felt shaky, and I wasn't sure if it was strong enough to hold up against the waves of worry crashing over me. I felt like I was drowning in fear, grasping for something, anything, to keep me afloat. Can you relate to that feeling? That sense of being overwhelmed, like you're carrying the weight you can't put down? As I began to dig deeper into the connection between faith and anxiety, I realized I wasn't alone. Millions of people around the world are searching for ways to quiet their restless minds and soothe their weary souls. Anxiety doesn't discriminate, it touches every corner of our lives, from our relationships to our careers, and even our physical health. It's like an uninvited guest that lingers too long, stealing our joy and replacing it with doubt, fear, and exhaustion. Anxiety is a thief. It robs us of the present moment, whispering what-if scenarios that keep us up at night. It's a heavy burden that can make even the simplest tasks feel insurmountable. I've had days where just getting out of bed felt like climbing a mountain because my mind was racing with worries I couldn't control. But here's the question that changed everything for me. What if there's a way to break free from anxiety's grip? What if faith could be the key to unlocking a life filled with peace? I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But stick with me. Faith isn't just a buzzword or a fleeting feeling, it's a powerful force that can transform how we face life's challenges. When we have faith, we have hope. And hope, it's like a lifeline that pulls us through even the darkest storms. With hope, we can face uncertainty, setbacks, and fears with a courage we didn't know we had. But let's be real, holding on to faith in the middle of anxiety isn't always easy. I've been there, those moments when everything feels like it's falling apart, and you're wondering if you're strong enough to keep going. Anxiety can be sneaky, creeping in when you least expect it. It might be triggered by a painful memory, a current stressor, or even something as simple as an overwhelming to-do list. Once it takes hold, it can feel like a battle you're fighting alone. For some of us, that battle is daily, a relentless struggle that leaves us feeling defeated. But what if we could change the narrative? Imagine waking up in the morning without that familiar weight of anxiety pressing on your chest. Picture yourself moving through your day with a sense of calm, not constantly bracing for the next worry. That's the kind of peace I'm talking about, the kind that faith can help us find. It's not about pretending life is perfect or ignoring our struggles, it's about connecting to something bigger than ourselves, something that gives us strength to face our fears head-on. Research backs this up, too. Studies have shown that people who actively practice faith, whether through prayer, meditation, or community, tend to have lower levels of anxiety and stress. Why? I think it's because faith gives us a sense of purpose, a framework for understanding life's ups and downs. It reminds us that we're not defined by our circumstances but by something deeper, something eternal. Faith offers a perspective shift. Instead of being consumed by what's going wrong, we can trust that there's a bigger plan at work, even when we can't see it. My own journey with faith and anxiety has been a winding, sometimes bumpy road. There were days when I felt like giving up, when the worries were so loud, they drowned out everything else. But in those moments, my faith became my anchor. It wasn't always dramatic or instantaneous. Sometimes, it was as simple as whispering a prayer or reading a verse that reminded me I wasn't alone. Those small acts of faith helped me keep going, one step at a time. Through this journey, I've learned that faith isn't just about believing in a higher power, it's about trusting the process of life itself. It's about surrendering the need to control every outcome and trusting that we're held, loved, and guided, even in our messiest moments. For me, faith has been like a lighthouse, guiding me back to shore when I'm lost in the fog of anxiety. One of the most beautiful gifts of faith is the community it brings. When I started opening up about my struggles, I found people who were willing to listen, pray for me, and remind me of God's promises. That sense of belonging, of knowing I wasn't fighting alone, made such a difference. Whether it's a church group, a close friend, or even an online community, surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you can be a lifeline when anxiety feels overwhelming. Faith also helps us reframe our struggles. When you're in the middle of an anxiety attack, it's easy to feel like the world is closing in, like things will never get better. I've had moments where my heart was racing, my thoughts spiraling, and all I could think was, this is never going to end. But faith has a way of zooming out, showing us the bigger picture. It reminds us that our struggles don't have the final word. We're not defined by our anxiety but by the love, grace, and strength that carry us through it. In those moments when anxiety feels like it's winning, faith can be the glue that holds us together. It's the quiet voice that says, you are enough, even when you feel broken. It's the assurance that you're not alone, even when the world feels heavy. For me, faith has been like a steady hand on my shoulder, guiding me through the chaos and into a place of peace. So, how do we start using faith to overcome anxiety? It doesn't have to be complicated. It starts with small, intentional steps. Begin by carving out a moment each day to connect with your faith, whether that's through prayer, journaling, or simply sitting in stillness. Ask for guidance, for strength, for peace. Trust that even when things feel out of control, there's a higher power who's got you. Surround yourself with a supportive community, people who will pray with you, encourage you, and remind you of your worth. Dive into scriptures, quotes, or teachings that resonate with your heart. For me, verses like do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God have been a lifeline. Find what speaks to you and hold on to it. Another practical step is to practice gratitude. Anxiety often pulls us into a cycle of what's wrong, but gratitude shifts our focus to what's right. Try writing down 3 things each day that you're thankful for, no matter how small. Over time, this practice can rewire your mind to notice the good, even in tough moments. And don't be afraid to seek professional help if you need it. Faith and therapy aren't mutually exclusive, they can work together beautifully. I've found that combining prayer with tools like deep breathing or counseling has given me a stronger foundation to manage anxiety. As we navigate life's challenges, faith can be our compass, guiding us toward peace. It doesn't mean we'll never feel anxious again. Life is messy, after all, but it means we have a source of strength to lean on. With faith, we can face our fears with courage, knowing we're never alone. So, here's my challenge to you. Take a moment to explore the role of faith in your life. Whether you're new to faith or you've been walking this path for years, ask yourself how it can be a source of comfort and strength for you. Try one small step today. Maybe it's a prayer, a conversation with a friend, or a moment of gratitude. See how it feels to lean into faith, even just a little. I'd love to hear from you. Share your own experiences with faith and anxiety in the comments below. What's helped you find peace? What challenges have you faced? Your story might just inspire someone else who's struggling. And don't forget to check out our next video, Finding Inner Peace in a Busy World, where we'll dive even deeper into practical ways to stay grounded in today's fast-paced life. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm so grateful to have you here. Let's keep exploring faith, peace, and hope together.